Hello, my name is Daniel Brandis, and I'm delighted to be serving as this year's Chapel Theologian. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about our upcoming retreat to Mercy River, which will take place on the first weekend of February, from Friday the 3rd to Sunday the 5th. Some of you will have been on chapel retreats before, so you'll know it's a very beautiful space. The surroundings are especially conducive to deep meditation and reflection. I have served once before as chapel theologian, and I'm really very excited to be doing it again. It's been many, many years. So on the subject of the theme, what we'll be talking about on this retreat, Father Ingalls and I had a long conversation about this, and I told him that I have recently been thinking quite a lot about, well, I'm teaching a course on giants of Jewish thought, and I've been thinking quite a lot recently on the book of Job, which is a constant preoccupation of mine, and the book of Exodus. And I thought it might be interesting to talk about the way in which these two great books have informed our understanding of education, both the limits and the promise of education. And so I've worked out in my head the seeds of a small number of talks on these themes, or adjacent themes. So as I'm envisioning it right now, and this is subject to change, I'd like to have one talk on the subject of study as a way of life. And it's a different kind of life, or a different way of life, I would argue, in the Jewish tradition and in the Greek tradition, which I will use as a kind of a foil. And I'd like to talk, hopefully have a conversation with students about the different possibilities for studying together, the different ways to treat study as more than just a theoretical undertaking, but as a way of life. And two different models of that way of life coming from the Jewish tradition and from the Greek tradition. Another possible topic for conversation that I'm excited about is the possibility of thinking wisdom in the different traditions that we study at King's. So I want to suggest, and this may be too broad, that there are different pictures of wisdom or notions of wisdom that we might ascribe to the Greek tradition, the Jewish tradition, and the Christian tradition. And I'd like to examine what I take to be, in broad strokes, some of the central themes and considerations of the wisdom traditions in these three sort of sweeping traditions. So that would be the subject of a second talk. For my third talk, I'd like to talk in a more concrete way about a thinker who may not be very well known to many of you, but and in fact he's a wildly neglected and sadly, lamentably neglected thinker. Isaac Luria is his name. He's maybe the central figure in the history of Jewish mysticism, or Kabbalah. And I want to suggest in a third talk that Luria's significance and even urgency for us should be foregrounded for us in the university today. So I want to make a case for Luria as a central and important figure for our understanding of the goals and limits of education today. And then the fourth and the final talk, I have not yet really worked out a firm topic for it yet, but Father Ingalls and I talked about how valuable it might be to have a chat with students about modern habits in education in the classroom, and in particular post-COVID habits, or certain strains in our teaching that have been exacerbated by COVID. We're back in the classroom now, but there are ways in which we're not yet wholly returned, and ways in which we have not yet made the best possible use of our classroom time together. So that will be a more interactive, conversational event, and I'm really eager to hear from students how they have experienced our new sort of post-COVID situation in the classroom. In any case, the broad theme, as you can see, that sort of connects these four talks is the question concerning education, its limits and its promise. As I say, I couldn't be more excited about meeting with all of you in that beautiful surroundings and chatting with you about our shared ideas or different ideas about education and what it can do. So I'm looking forward to this. I hope you find this an attractive prospect, and I hope to see many of you on the first weekend of February. Thanks very much.